This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.
G'day, guys. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene, and we are on with my co-host, the baddest bear in the cage, Bear Fiorda.
And I'm extremely smooth today.
And this is Behind the Scenes. I have no makeup on today. We're going to be doing some face masks. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. But yeah, what we do kind of here is usually I'll put my makeup on and we get ready for the day. He gets ready for his day. We talk to our guest and then we go, well, today I am home doing facials. So that's going to be the first thing we do. Which is always fun for me. So,
well, for me, I'm just going to be getting ready to go actually do some training afterwards. So I've got like my clothing, my hand wraps, which I normally don't put on camera, but we'll do that today. And she's doing, what are you doing right now?
I am plucking my eyebrows.
You don't, what? No, please don't do that. I don't like.
I have an idea. I get rid of loose hair that way.
I know you get rid of loose hair that way, but it hurts.
It does.
I don't want to get hurt.
I know. Nobody cares.
Nobody. What do you mean nobody cares? What? Right. Please write this show at TuneInBTS if you guys care if I get hurt or not.
I'm just gonna wax his eyebrows.
That's not surprisingly not as bad as tweezing.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much and where you do it. You're like right on my eyelash. My eyelid. I mean, not my eyelash. I panicked.
You panicked?
Eyelash.
Eyelash. So here's my question.
Wait, I thought you were waxing you. Why are you waxing me?
Oh, because you need it more.
I need it more?
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about Matt Rife today. So if we're going to talk about a pretty boy, you should look like a pretty boy.
That's pretty funny, actually. But Jesus Christ, what did he do now?
So he got into an argument with like Tana Mojo's best mate.
Yeah. Over
the fact that I guess she has an outie vagina.
What the hell's an outie vagina?
I think that means visually, like, you know, the pink bits are past the lips. That's what they're calling an outie vagina. Will you sit still?
No. I guess I will when you stop. Actually, I won't even sit still when you stop.
So that's what we're doing today. What do you all think of the Matt Rife controversy?
Well, he's already been controversial, and that's kind of been his thing. He hasn't stopped.
Oh no, but he's like, now he's trying to be more douche-worthy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he seems to be, as people were saying, he's kind of alienating his female audience. What the hell is this?
Oh, this is next. This is a gold mask. It's a peel off. It's what comes next.
It's a peel off mask.
Yeah.
It's gold?
You'll see.
Dude, I'm going to look gauche.
Anyway, so tell me about it. He's alienating his female audience.
Well, it's because he first started with the new, his new special for Comedy Central.
It was Netflix.
Was it Netflix? I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, wow. I really am gold. It was for his new special on Netflix, and he started out with like a domestic violence joke, and it kind of all went downhill from there.
I'm kind of in favor of it. Hear me out. Not
You're
domestic.
in favor of domestic violence?
No, you dipstick. Like, if he wants to talk about domestic violence, like, I am all for it. Like, if you're going to be a douche, cool. I want the flag. Like, if you're a white supremacist, I don't think we should take you off social media. I think everyone should know who and what you are.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a fair point.
There you go.
All right.
That's my opinion on it.
I like, oh, you got some gold on the headphones.
That's
They're
my
going to be,
opinion on
they're
it.
so much more expensive now.
Like, you should be able to wear a douche flag. Like, I kind of think I thought Matt Rife was funny.
Okay.
I have not thought he was funny with all of the shit he's been doing. But like, I don't think he should be deplatformed, because if he's a douche, like, shouldn't we all get a heads up?
See, I agree with you, but I agree with her a different way. I don't often think about how it's like, I want these people to expose themselves. I just think that
it's free.
At what point do we make the limit? Like, okay, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about this. You can make this joke, can't make that joke. Where is the limitation? Because everyone's offended or upset or happy with different things being discussed. A white supremacist has different hard boundaries of no than a liberal. Like, we have to understand that there can't be that kind of line. And if it is a line, it's got to be something that everyone universally is like, yeah, okay, that's not cool. Like, I think something that already kind of aligned and does get picked off a lot is talking about the P word. I can't say it because it'll get us banned on YouTube.
Okay.
So that's a universal line. Almost everybody in the whole world's like, yep, can't have that on any kind of social media platform. Can't have that in the public eye. That those people need to go away. Jesus, you are like, I've seen a music video like this before. Where's the zombie music video by Bad Wolves? The remake of the song Zongi. Zombie. I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask my assistant Kaylee to get me a wet rag. Kaylee.
You know, I just realized we're so geniuses. We have a blue screen, everyone at home, and we are both mutually wearing blue. So I was sitting there thinking, like, why are we all glitchy? And it's because we chose the wrong clothing.
This is somehow not my fault.
That's okay. I chose your outfit. You know,
He bought it for me.
I did buy it for you. So it's kind of like my
problem
fault.
Here is what? That
my issue is that with the whole cancel, and I hate saying cancel culture because that's become kind of like a trigger word, and a lot of people use it unironically, but for negative reasons. I don't necessarily disagree with the whole cancel culture in of itself. I think that if you are saying completely despicable things that encourage mass violence or uprisings or insurrections, I don't know, for example, then yeah, you should be removed from social media.
Okay.
If you are not encouraging violence and you are just, I suppose, making comedy, but then again, I guess, was his joke really encouraging violence now that I think about it? No? Okay, then yeah, if you're not encouraging violence, you don't want people to riot in the streets, say what you want.
He's just
except for the P words again. And that's just it. He is outing himself for people like you who are like, let him stay on so I know to avoid him. It works. People like me who's like, there's no real,
like covered in this.
We need a hard boundary if we're going to kick people off social media for everybody. It works in both ways.
I think it just like, if you like touch kids, you should be off.
But that's just it. Oh, touch kids, a great way to put it instead of saying the P word. Because not everyone may understand that.
Like, you should be off then.
No, absolutely. What is this gold mask called, by the way?
It is the Freeman Galaxy Cosmetic
Peel-off
mask. Cosmic peel-off mask. Kaylee, would you grab me a wet rag, please?
What do these peel-off masks do?
They get all the dead skin cells off.
So I'm getting all the dead skin cells off to then go and train, which, by the way, guys, I just thought about this. She waxed my face just a minute ago, and I'm going to go outside and sweat. Don't ever work out after getting waxed.
He's still mad about the time I waxed his back.
She waxed my entire back. It was extremely painful. I hated every moment, and it made training ridiculous. I was burning within a minute of being in the gym.
Oh, blah, blah. If you didn't want your back waxed, you'd have less hair.
I don't think that's how that works.
Another one, please.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think that is an accurate thing.
I think it is. Our guest's on. Do you want to intro?
Yeah, actually, guys, welcome to the show, the Trendy Chef.
Good day. How you guys doing?
Good, good. We are playing with Galaxy face masks. He loves it. I also tried waxing his eyebrows. He's not a fan, but is not as bad as he was when I waxed his back, which we're going to probably do on the show next week.
I've never had neither one done, so I don't know.
I fight in the cage, so it's conducive to not be super hairy. I hate the process of going through that. So welcome to the show. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I am the Trendy Chef. I am a viral content creator. I'm a Food Network winning chef. I've won shows with Bobby Flay and Alex Guinness-Shelley. I've recently appeared on Chopped on the Food Network. I'm known for doing just the most silliest things on the internet, like deep frying water, which went. I get that reaction.
So what I hear is you're known for exploding oil.
Actually, it's gastronomy. I'm a culinary graduate, so I really know the scientific things of doing, in the kitchen. So I'm not just like one of these Instagram chefs that just online cooking. So what I did was gelatize the water, bread it just like you would do any chicken or fish, and I deep fried it. And it got 40 million views in like 24 hours.
Oh my God, you actually deep fried water.
Yeah, I actually deep fried water.
I'm thinking, you blew up the kitchen. He's like, no, I actually deep fried water.
How did it taste?
Terrible. And I was actually scared of biting into it because I was like, what if this is like 1,000 degrees inside of it?
Yeah.
So I let it cool down for a minute, but it was just something fun and silly online, and it just went so viral. I literally went from maybe like 2,000 followers to 200,000 followers on TikTok
Holy
in
shit.
like less than a couple of weeks. So I was like, this is crazy.
Oh man, congratulations on that.
But it kind of put me in because I'm I'm a chef. You know, I work for Michelin star restaurants. I own restaurants. I own catering companies. So with me doing that, it kind of put me in a niche of being this deep fried chef on the internet now. So now people are like, deep fried Skittles, deep fried. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I'm deep frying all the silly stuff on TikTok.
What are you enjoying?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to get away from the filet mignon and the lobster bisque and everything that you see all the time. But that's only a TikTok thing. It don't really do well on Instagram. They want to see real food. So so I'm learning all that. But I was on a Steve Harvey show years ago for stuffing mac and cheese inside of a chicken wing. I've done all kind of stuff. So I've always been this creative chef.
I need to go back. How do you put mac and cheese inside a chicken wing?
I've never answered that question because it's a secret.
Right.
Yeah. It was actually crazy because it looked like a normal wing from the outside. So when he bit it, he was actually confused on like why they basically told him like, hey, we have this special chef, he does things that no one does. And they brought him a plate of wings. He's like, this is just chicken wings. Like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, bite the wing, Steve. And he bit it and mac and cheese is falling out. He's like, what the? So it was crazy.
That is not. I think I actually seen that clip. Now I think about it. I remember him having that kind of. He was like stone faced, almost like petrified by what.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
And I recently went viral for doing like everyone instead of hot dogs we're calling it glizzies now. So it was a salmon glizzy that I did, and it went viral. It had millions of views, and it's just people just like the creative me. So I'm just having fun.
Be careful with the glizzy thing. That's not all they're calling glizzies. Make sure they actually want the hot dog.
Yeah. The internet's crazy. They can switch up things.
I could sit here all day and ask you how you did this, that, or the other, but I think something I'd like to know is what got you on this path to begin with.
So I graduated culinary school in 2011. Before that, I was just a troubled kid doing silly things, fighting and doing dumb things, ditching school. So I was like, you know what am I going to do in my life? And I literally just saw an infomercial that said culinary school. And I'm like, let me try it out. Went to culinary school, didn't know anything. I didn't even know how to crack an egg. I didn't know how to do anything. And most people at the school, they were like, we were raised with our grandmothers and moms. I was raised with a single father that was a military guy, so he didn't know how to cook at all. So they kind of already knew how to cook, the basics. I didn't know anything. But as the years went on, I was a junior, my junior semester. It was a 1,200 student competition. So each day about 100 people or so was getting eliminated. And 2 weeks passed, and it was me and one other chef, and I beat everyone, 1,200 students, from not knowing how to make an egg to winning. And that's kind of how I got the name Trendy Chef. Because once I got my award, I had on overalls with my chef coat on and a skateboard in my hand. And they're like, you're kind of like a trendy chef. Like, you're trendy. And I was like, oh, trademarked it and patented it and all that right away. And
that's awesome.
That's kind of how I got started. And I didn't have my first steak until I was 15 years old. Never tasted a steak. And we were literally like poor, didn't have a lot of money. And my dad, it was literally peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and ramen noodles every single day. So once I learned how to do the basics, I was like, you know what? I want to try real food. So that's why I went to culinary school.
Hang on. I have to know this. Mm-hmm. So you went from not being able to cook. You became one of the most viral chefs on the internet because of an infomercial?
Yep. I woke up. It was like 1 a.m. I left the TV on and I just heard like culinary school. I'm like, what? Culinary school? I'm like, okay, let me try it out. I thought it was just like home ec, like where you just go and bake. And I went there, it was a whole different process. You couldn't even get in the kitchen until you passed your serve safe. You had to do knife skills, everybody cutting their fingers left and right. I was like, whoa, chefs actually throwing our plates against the wall. Like, this is not julienne cuts. This is not a bechamel. Throwing it against the wall. And you're like, oh, it was like a boot camp. So it was, it was crazy.
Do you think the insanity of the situation of the school kind of brought out the best in you? Did you like how kind of intense it was when you were there?
I was more shocked, but yeah, I was like, they're really trying to get us to learn this craft. They're not playing around with us. It's expensive. You're paying $100,000 a semester.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're getting loans and financial aid and everything. So you have to. I know people that graduated culinary school that's never worked in a kitchen. They change their mind after. They're like, you know what, this is not for me. But you went through the entire thing, paid all this money, and you realize it wasn't for you. But it's not for everybody. It's hard.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people would have probably dropped out after the first plate hit the wall.
Well, it would be terrifying. Now, what was the hardest moment for you in culinary school?
What was the hottest moment?
Hardest.
Oh, I was like, what's that? The hardest moment.
Both.
The hardest moment. I don't know. It was all hard for me because I didn't know anything. Like from the knife skills to how to hold my hand. My first time seeing someone slice off their finger was kind of like literally we had to do a knife test where we had to cut within a certain amount of time, and this guy cut off like half of his finger, and literally we saw it roll down the drain, and there was blood everywhere, and I'm like, this is insane. And I've cut myself pretty bad a lot of times, and I was known for, so when we fabricate chicken, I couldn't get through the joint, so every time we would fabricate chicken, they knew I was going to cut myself, and I cut like down to like the white meat like bad, so people were like, man, he's going to cut himself again. So it was a lot of learning.
Damn. What is probably, I would imagine that's one of your worst injuries, but do you have one that really sticks out to you during that time?
It's bad when the cage fighter's looking at you going, that sounds terrible.
So I think the worst thing, not for me, because that was like pretty bad, me cutting myself pretty hard, but I saw someone, so with a meat slicer, they have a guard where you're supposed to hold the guard and you slice it with the machine. This guy that was there, he thought he was just, professional chef already. So we was doing duck, I think we were doing duck prosciutto, and he had to slice it thin. He didn't use a guard and is slicing this way. So his finger actually sliced this way and half of it fell down.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa.
That is disgusting.
Yeah. And a lot of people were dropping out left. Every time someone cut themselves really bad, you'll see the next day, like the class getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Oh shit.
That's not like he really sliced.
I have seen guys, like I've seen people's knees where they meet full extension just get snapped back to their head. Like I have seen horrific injuries, and that scares me more. That frightens me more because at least they can set it and you can like get surgery and repair it. There's no surgery when you lose half your finger, like a banana straight down the middle. Jesus
that's
Christ.
Exactly what it was too. Yeah, that's crazy. And it was so thin and clean because the blade is so sharp. So you always actually if you want to cut yourself, it's better to have a sharp knife than a dull knife. So
why? Okay, not that I want to cut myself, but I am now invested. Why is that important?
Because the sharp knife is so clean and it's straight to the point. Like the dull knives, it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a dull serrated knife. It's kind of gripping into your skin more instead of just a clean cut. So
okay, so like if you're gonna put if you're gonna slice your finger off, like get it reattached if you cut through with a sharp knife, but it's not coming back if you like saw through it with a dull knife.
That's why we tell them, I call it the bear claw. You're supposed to hold your knuckles like this way. And then if anything goes bad, you're only slicing a little bit of skin, which is nothing compared to your finger. So yeah, I learned a lot from, I always tell people when they say, you don't need culinary school, but I know stuff that you would never know because you didn't go to culinary school. So.
What's the weirdest like tip or trick you got from culinary school?
The weirdest, it was kind of like they were showing off, but to put a lobster to sleep, they actually turned the lobster on its head and would start rubbing its back, and then it'll pass out. But in reality, it's because the blood was rushing to the lobster's head. But they did that before throwing it in the water. So that was one.
Is it more humane? Is it like better for the lobster? Does it make it taste better? I'm curious.
It does make it taste better. I think it was kind of for show, like, hey, I put a lobster to sleep. Because either way, they're going in like scalding hot water.
Yeah.
That, and then it was pretty cool learning what the difference is between how do you know a hard-boiled egg, if it's hard-boiled or if it's raw from just looking at 2 eggs, you have to spin it. A hard-boiled egg actually spins, and it's impossible to spin a raw egg. So
why?
Really?
Okay, I have
impossible.
to know why. Okay.
Because of the weight, I don't know. So if you guys, even after this, you go home, you get a raw egg and get one that's boiled, and you spin the boiled one, it's going to spin straight up and twirl, but the other one is not going to spin up. It's going to do like a little weird, like 1 second spin. So that's how you can tell from a hard-boiled egg to a raw egg from just looking. Like, you know, if you don't know which one is which and it's boiled, they both cool down. Well, which one is which? You just spin one.
Well, now you know if you see me spinning eggs, my own amusement, I'm trying to see which one's
You've
hard-boiled.
just given him excuses to spin. Like, great, I'm gonna come home. He's gonna be here. Like, hey, babe.
Just playing with
Just
eggshells
playing with
everywhere,
eggs,
yolks
eggs all over the floor.
fridge.
That's great. That's
So you went through culinary school. You watched people dismember themselves essentially, and then not only decided to continue making that a career, you went on to social media. Why did you want to start posting content?
I actually don't even know. It's funny because I just started posting food and like with the deep fried water, I wasn't really familiar with TikTok. And my son, kids are big on that. My son's 13. He's like, Dad, you have like 100,000 views. I was like, it's only been like 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes since I posted that. He's like, no, it's at 100,000. Then he kept waking me up. Hey, Dad, it's at 20,000. It's at 1 million. It's at 2 million. I was like, what does this mean? And then all of a sudden, as soon as I asked him that, my email's blowing up. People like are all, hey man, we're a fan of yours. I'm like, a fan of what? A deep fried water. So I was really confused. And I was like, let me try it again. And someone was like, deep fried watermelon. I was like, okay. So I deep fried a watermelon. They like deep fried grapes. That one went viral. I was like, all right. So I just started answering these questions. I'm like, dang, everything I'm doing is going viral from just answering people's silly. I literally would use the same batter. Well, it depends on if it's sweet or savory. But I would just literally make 2 different batters and I would just fry stuff. But yeah, social media, and it started being fun to me because like I said, I worked for Michelin star restaurants to where we had to have like a magnifying glass attached to our hat where it came over to our eye, so where everything had to have the same cut, same size. And it was fun. But with this, it's like you can freestyle, you can throw stuff together. You know, you don't have to have the filet mignon and all the, it's just a fun way of doing things.
Okay. I can imagine you'd had a lot more fun deep frying grapes and have one of those little things over your eyes.
I went to a restaurant in Beverly Hills. I spent $2,000 on the worst sushi, I'm still mad, I've ever had in my life, and got terrible food poisoning.
Wow.
Yeah, hear me out. I'm still mad at that chef. But this, the water comes from, under the, this is the same water Louis the 14th was drinking. I was like, that was great. But I got food poisoning. I don't care where the water came from. Like, I got really bad food poisoning. Our whole group did.
Wow.
What do you think separates a good chef and a bad chef?
Well, the main thing is the love. Some people just do it for money. And when you're a chef, chefs don't get paid as much as people think, especially unless you own your own businesses. If you're working for someone, you're not getting it. We're putting in way more work than what we do to get paid. So you have to really love this. You can't do it for the money. And you can taste it in your food when someone's stressed or when someone's not having a good day. And then you sell that to a customer. You can taste it through the food. Like, this doesn't taste right. So yeah, that's what separates a good chef from like an amateur, is just really the love that you have for it. So when people tell me online, some people, oh man, I can cook better than you. I'm like, not in your dreams, not in this lifetime. Because it's something I love. It's something that, and culinary, even with the Food Network show, when we flew out, we landed in Arizona. They wanted to go out and party and celebrate. And I was in my hotel reading the flavor Bible, coming up with strategies. And this is just something that is not a joke to me. This is my whole life.
It's interesting you bring that up. How I understand what it's like to have haters being a content creator, but I'm curious how you handle it. Do you even read them? Do you respond to them? Do you ignore them completely? What's your method here?
Do you give them food poisoning when they come in for sushi?
Do you give them food poisoning?
So it's funny.
Your beard.
So it's funny with the comments. So it's weird how social media work. If I have like a hateful comment, I'll laugh with them. Oh, you can't cook. You're an idiot. I'm like, man, I am an idiot. Ha ha ha. And they're like, oh, you're kind of cool. Let me follow you. So because I laughed with you. So it's like, it's weird. So I literally will just laugh and I don't get mad. I just laugh at them because, you know, they don't know me in real life. I've done everything. I'm 34 years old. I've done more than chefs have done in 20 years. You know, I've opened restaurants. I've closed down restaurants. I opened catering companies, owned food trucks. I did all this and I'm only 34 years old. So, you know, so when stuff is online, it doesn't really bother me. I just laugh with them.
I think that's one of the best ways to handle it. You never want to respond directly to a hater like with vitriol and anger because it's going to keep coming. They know they can get a rise out of you now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Look at what Matt Rife's doing. He's messing with everyone. He got into a fight with a 6-year-old kid. Like as soon as there's hate, you engage. What happens?
You get more hate. People love to see you get angry.
Yeah, and most of these people, you know, they don't have nothing going for themselves but just going on social media trolling. So if you give them that response, they're excited now. Oh my God, Trendy Chef. Now we're going back and forth. Now they're going to screenshot it and post it. So it's just, you know,
absolutely.
I just laugh and I just have a good time with them.
What's the best comment you've ever gotten? Like the happiest you were with any comment you ever got?
The best comment I ever gotten was that I was better. Someone said, I think you're a better chef than Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay. And I was like, wow, that means a lot.
High compliment, man.
Yeah. And it's funny because with Bobby Flay on my show, you know, he picked me as a winner on Supermarket Stakeout. And I told him straight to his face, I said, you're next. I'm going to beat you next. And everybody got all quiet. Oh my God, you said that to Bobby Flay. I said, you're next. And he respected me so much for that. He was like, man, no one ever talks to me like that. He said, much respect, man. Let's do it.
That's fantastic. You know, talking about all these shows, was social media a great way for you to get on these different shows, or is it something you already had planned on doing? Like what kind of led you to being on Chopped, for example?
So it's funny because even for Chopped and Supermarket Stakeout, usually they don't reach out to you. You have to fill out an application. You got to wait for the process. Both shows reached out to me on social media and was like, hey, we've been watching your Instagram. For example, Supermarket Stakeout, you have to get random ingredients from like people that's coming out the grocery store, and you have to create whatever the judges tell you to create, even if it's not in the basket, you have to figure it out. So they were like, hey, we see you do a lot of random stuff on social media. We would love for you to be on Supermarket Stakeout. And I was like, okay, yeah, why not? And then I won that show. And then, of course, when you win shows, Chop called me, hey, we need you on this. We need you on Chop, man. You're cute. You killed it on Supermarket Stakeout. Okay. You seem like you're unbeatable. We need you. And Bobby Flay, Alex Guinness-Shelley told on live, she said, I'm an unbeatable chef. And Alex Guinness-Shelley is one of the best chefs in the world.
Now, after being on all these different shows and social media, do you see anyone who's kind of like an up-and-coming talent? Anyone you kind of like to watch or think is going to do well in your industry?
Up and coming, it's a lot of good up and coming talent. And it's funny because a lot of them look up to me, and it's actually a lot of people that aren't chefs that I see online recreating stuff that I've done. And they're like, man, we want to do what you're doing. I'm like, we have a bigger following. What do you mean? But sometimes it's not about the following because they see like the endorsement deals, the branding deals, even like with my agent, she's like, you get more endorsement deals than some of my bigger creators because they just love my personality. They love what I bring to the table. And then I have my mentor is Chef Rush. He's a White House chef. Well, he was for 21 years. He's my mentor, and he puts me on such a high pedestal. He's like, man, you're one of the best chefs, that I've met. And I'm like, you've been around for a long time. So for you to say that is crazy.
What's the weirdest request you've ever gotten? Like chef related. I know you're on the internet. I don't want to know what the actual weirdest request is. I'm sure it has to do with feet, but like the weirdest, like, chef related question. I don't want to hear about the feet thing.
Chef related? Like you mean like when they tell me to deep fry certain weird stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the deep frying Skittles is kind of crazy. I still haven't done that one. I don't know why they tell me to do that. But yeah, the deep frying Skittles thing from actual chefs. It's funny because when I start deep frying stuff, chefs that went to school with me and that worked with me at these Michelin star restaurants, like, you're no longer a chef. You're deep frying stuff on the internet. I was like, whoa, that means I'm not a chef. So I got a lot of hate for that too. A lot from the actual chef.
Means they're jealous
That's
of your
wild.
following.
100% they're jealous of you.
That doesn't mean you're not a chef. That means they're pissed off that you're doing things they're not.
And it's crazy because like months later, now they're doing the deep fry stuff. The people that said I wasn't a chef. And now they're asking me questions. How do I go viral on this? How do I? I'm like, but you said I wasn't a chef. But I was getting it left and right from chefs. Like,
did you tell them to suck a giant?
I was just telling them. I literally was like, bro, this is a new niche. This is what I'm doing. And I tell every chef that tried to say something. I said, we can make a bet. If you guys think you can cook better than me, let's get some paperwork going. Let's put down like $10,000 and let's see if you can outcook me. It's just, let's put your money where your mouth is. But they all turned it down. Like, no way. We're not going to do that.
Well, of course they turned it down.
No, I can't imagine anyone want to go up against that, especially because I think more so than just being trendy and viral, there's another aspect of practice, becoming the best, because you have to put that out for millions of people to watch. You can't put out essentially garbage. I mean, funny, yes, like deep fried Skittles, but when you do something seriously, people are going to grade you on that. So you have to be at the top of your game.
Yeah. And then like with that 1,200 student competition, with me winning, I was able to go to Thailand for 3 months on a study abroad. And I was able to go to Florence, Italy for another 3 months. So I was going for a half a year. And when we went to these places, we were just supposed to study books and sit in class. And then they'll go out and party when we're not in school. But me, I went to the local restaurants and I was like, hey, I'll wash these dishes for free if I can have like a view of the kitchen to kind of see like, what are you guys doing? They respected that so much. They're like, no, come tomorrow and sit next to the chefs with a notepad and write down what we're doing. So I ended up just doing that the whole time I was there. And people was like, and everyone there, like the other students were like, man, we're just doing this to make money. You like really love this, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I do. So.
Do you think your lack of experience in the kitchen is why you pushed so much harder than everyone else? You said you came there with no experience where everyone else had some. So that put you in a position where you not only had to catch up to get ahead, but you had to catch up, you had to even out, and you had to get ahead, especially to win that competition. Do you think your lack of experience made you strive harder than other people?
I think that, and with me, I already turned down, I was an All-American basketball player in high school, college. And I turned all that down because I fell in love with cooking. And it was once you turn that down, there's no turning back. So I was like, you know what? This is all I have left. I don't know what else I want to do in my life. This is it. My dad's getting older. I'm trying to figure out a path to go. I can't wait until I'm 30, 40. And, this is what I want to do. So once I saw that I was actually good at it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. But in culinary school, I was doing it just to get a good job, maybe be the head chef of a restaurant. I never saw the Food Network. I never saw the social media, the endorsement deals. That was never a vision. It was just becoming one of the best chefs at a Michelin star restaurant. And that's it. That was going to be my retirement plan. And then all of this stuff happened.
That's crazy. So you're going to be a basketball star in a sense first. Like what made you want to give up that to go on to cooking?
That means he was always going to be a star. When somebody's positioned like that, I know that sounds odd, but you find that a lot of media influencers like yourself, like Bear, a lot of people that get big in one area usually had an opportunity to get big in another. There's a very specific personality type, one that does well in media, and two that is willing to put in that level of work because it is work. And so if you're willing to do it for basketball, if you decide on cooking, that's where your drive's going to go. You train 8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to put in that level of work, whatever you do, you're going to succeed at. I think what people miss is the level of work that it really takes to succeed, be it online, be it in life. You have to put the work in. Otherwise, it's gone.
Yeah. And it was for me, I love basketball, but the way that, at the time, my dad, not doing good financially and stuff, I was like, so what are the odds of me going to the NBA or me working as a head chef for a restaurant? So I kind of put the two and two together. Anything's possible. I was like, you know what? The cooking is more realistic right now. only because I've seen the greatest basketball players in the world not make it to the NBA. I'm talking about amazing, better than LeBron James, and they didn't make it because that's just a thing that happens. Yeah, you can play overseas, but you're not in the NBA. You're not making NBA money. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this cooking thing out, and I was like, this doesn't work. I'm screwed. So
but you put the work in, and you put yourself up.
I think when I think of stories like yours and the way you described it, there's a Twitch streamer who basically gave up his job. He gave up everything he had going for himself. He took 4 months, posted videos every single day, and managed to make a living for himself because he gave himself no options. And I see that a lot in you. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is the option. I need this to survive. I need this to eat. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. And that's important. When people feel like they have options, they have things they can fall back on, they oftentimes don't hit their main goals and they feel unsuccessful in life.
Well, that's something I tell actors all the time. If you hire an agent, make sure your agent is the smallest agent at the biggest agency. Like you want the brand new guy over at William Morris. You want the brand new guy at CAA because you want the guy that just come up from the mailroom. He'll have the same contacts and he'll still have CAA on the door, but he needs you to work for him to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think that's left yourself in the position where you're like, well, if this doesn't work, I'm screwed. I've screwed my dad. Like we're dead.
And it was like, I grew up in a small city called Moreno Valley. It's Moreno Valley, California.
Oh, we're right next door to that.
We're in Palm Springs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's crazy because I cater more in Palm Springs than I do any other city. They always hire us in Palm Springs. I don't know why. But so Moreno Valley, back then it was just a terrible place. It was just a lot going on. And, I want to show people like, if I can make it out, you can make it out. Because it was just a lot going on. And with me and the trouble I was getting into, if I can show people that I can do it, they can do it. That's why I'm opening a culinary school in Moreno Valley, a culinary academy. It's actually opening up February of next month.
He's opening a culinary school here.
Really?
Yeah. Opening a culinary.
Best, like the moment you miss the best thing when you're focused on getting ready for the gym.
Can I also not cut myself in half when I use a knife? I feel like I use knives so dumb when I cut food. I'm so slow. My fingers in the way.
Oh, when you cut, I tell people if you're not a professional, cut slow. Don't try to be like us. Like me, I try not to do it a lot on social media because I don't want people copying. But I can cut really fast and look this way. I can have a conversation. I can look you in your eyes, and I'm like, that's not for everybody. But yeah, I had a video where I was actually blindfolded, and I think it was about 15 onions or something. I cut them all blindfolded, sharp knife, and I did it within maybe like a minute and 10 seconds. 15 onions, boom, 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 peel and cut. So yeah, so if you're not a professional, cut slow. And a lot of people, when they're cutting, they try to show off. So you have to slow down at the end. I don't care if you're a professional or not, because it's a little bit of whatever you're cutting is left. So you're going to cut yourself. So I tell people slow down.
When he's cutting slow.
Oh, he catches when he's cutting slow.
I have. I mean, I wasn't going to say that part, but.
It's not like he's trying to go quick. It's
touch your fingers. The bear claw, there's no way. If you do that and you're holding, whatever you're holding, you want to bear claw it. So you're cutting like this. So if anything, you're not cutting off your finger. You might graze it, but there's no way that you're going to be able to cut your finger.
All right. I will take that, man. And try not to lose any digits. I'm sorry. The story of the guy going down the middle, that just scared me so much.
Yeah, that was insane. That was probably the worst one. That one, and then like I said, the fingers, I think we all have a finger that's a little bit longer in the middle. So he cut that to where now all of his are the same size. And that one's the one I rolled down the drain, and he was like, grab my finger. And we were like, no. So, because I guess if he said they could have attached it back, I guess, but it fell down the drain. So we were like, we can't get that.
It's in the U-bend, mate. Like it's no.
That's going to some rat. Like that's an animal's next meal. Yeah.
Oh, I do want to give a quick shout out to Tiny Bubbles Hair Salon in Palm Springs, California. Thank you for doing the blonde. It's sitting in Olaplex right now. I want to give a shout out to KM Extends for doing all of my red carpet extensions, hair, wigs, the whole nine. I want to give a shout out to Off-Road Rentals, but I'm going to say, if you guys send us a video, tell us the coolest thing the Trendy Chef deep fried and why, the first person to make Bear laugh gets a ride at Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California.
That's actually a question. I want to go back to that real fast. What is the thing you've enjoyed most deep frying?
The curiosity is because anything that I deep fry, I don't practice it and do it before. I literally just, let me go to the store, let me try that. So just like how deep frying, you can make deep frying like kind of fancy too. Like even when I like the watermelon was disgusting because hot watermelon, no one wants that. But the way I deep fried it, beautiful golden crust and the ice cream and the caramel on top, and it just looks like this beautiful dessert and it's deep fried. And I'm like, wow, you can make something deep fried actually look good. Because in culinary school, they don't teach you how to deep fry much because, they teach you more of the fancy way of cooking. So I think that's pretty cool. And then and they love my honesty. If I deep fry something, some of these chefs think everything they make is just amazing. No, if I deep fry something I've never done, you ask me and I try it, I'm going to say right there on the video, ew, this is disgusting. And people are like, oh, wow, like you really said it was disgusting. Yeah, it is.
What do you think of like grilled watermelon? You're saying you don't like hot watermelon. Grilled watermelon became a thing for a minute, and I thought it was foul.
I don't know. I don't like grilled watermelon either. I don't know why. It's just the hot watermelon just doesn't sit.
How did that become a thing? Right. How did that become a thing?
That's nuts.
What was surprising, the deep fried Kool-Aid that I did was actually pretty good. And the deep fried grapes were pretty good. Those are two things that I was shocked. I was like, oh wow, this is actually good.
Yeah. As we come to the end of the show, before we give all the shout outs for the social media, I want to know, do you have any more goals? Like what is your end game here with everything you're doing?
Really just to give back as much as possible. I'm starting a culinary academy in Moreno Valley. I'm actually starting a cooking school in Lake Elsinore as well. And then
nice.
Yes, and then I have my restaurant Battered Up in Temecula, California. Have Trendy Chef Catering. Yeah, it's called Battered Up.
I literally go and punch people in the face with consent in Temecula, like 4 days out of the week. What's it called again?
It's called Battered Up, and it's on Winchester and Jefferson.
That is right. I'm literally right next door to that.
So you'll probably.
So yeah, I'm going to Battered Up now this coming Monday.
And it's funny because we used to be inside of the Temecula Mall. And then once the Temecula Mall, I love it, but they had so many rules to where we couldn't add a lot of stuff and do like crazy stuff to our menu every single time. So once my lease ended, I ended up moving out of the mall. So now we're just on our own, like right behind Jack in the Box, right next to the Marriott. It's like right by the freeway.
Nice.
But it is the only restaurant, I believe, ever, anywhere. The only restaurant where you can deep fry what you want. So, for example, someone had just a regular burger, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and they were like, hey, Trendy Chef, deep fry my entire burger. I'm like, what do you mean? With the lettuce, tomato, everything on there? They're like, yeah. I was like, all right. So you can literally get the entire thing deep fried. Someone else just wanted the hamburger buns deep fried. We have a grilled chicken sandwich. Some lady said, can you deep fry my coleslaw? Yeah, why not?
Oh, so my God.
You're not allowed to go there. You have to your fight.
Hold up. So, I'm going to say right now, we have a fight scheduled in March in Maryland.
February. Yeah.
Not February, March. And I got news recently that it's a potential not going to happen, which would be devastating for me. But if it doesn't, I get to go to Bay.
If it doesn't, you have one in February.
Yeah. But I want the food.
I don't care.
So the good thing about Battered Up too, is that we have vegan options, we have healthy, we have gluten-free, and then you can fry it. So literally it's the only restaurant where you can get anything that you want. So say husband and the wife is super healthy and the husband's like, no, I want deep fried everything. Now you guys can both eat at the same place because now you have your gluten-free salad or whatever you want, and he has a deep fried hamburger.
Dude, wait, if I order a salad, can you guys deep fry it?
I wanted to do that on social media for so long, but I'm like, people are gonna go nuts. Why would you deep fry a salad? And I've been wanting to do that for like the last 2 years and never did it.
Do it.
Deep fried salad.
I want
salad dressing on top.
Sorry.
I want that. I really do now that it's in the air.
And then I worked at a lot of like county fairs and stuff when I first graduated culinary school. So that's where kind of like the idea came, because we have deep fried Oreos, deep fried mac and cheese. We have loaded tri-tip fries, loaded buffalo chicken fries. We have just our menu's amazing.
God, that
That
all sounds
incredible.
amazing.
Like I'm so unhappy that I didn't know about this beforehand.
It's like, why? I don't think like the guys at the gym are going, let's all go to the deep fry place. Everyone's always on the diet at the gym.
We'll make
that is one thing that kind of like people think, because it's battered up fried food is what we're called. So they assume there's nothing healthy there until they go inside and they're like, oh, dang, you actually have some healthy food too. So I think on our social media, we're going to start kind of promoting the healthy stuff too, just so people can know. Like the vegans love it because they do the vegan cauliflower wings, maple garlic cauliflower wings, buffalo peach barbecue, which I invented and patent. Yeah, I have peach barbecue chicken wings. We're the only place in California, probably, I don't know in the world, but we do a chicken Alfredo wing. Chicken Alfredo, we toss it in Alfredo sauce, top it with Parmesan cheese.
All right, I'm gonna take him after his next win.
I'm absolutely going to battle.
Where can everyone find you online?
Trendy Chef. I always tell people Google is the easiest thing, because once you Google Trendy Chef, everything pops up, the TV shows and TikTok. But on Instagram, it's Trendy_Chef, but you can just put Trendy Chef. TikTok is Trendy Chef. I'm recently on Facebook because my agent like, you need to get on Facebook. So I'm on Facebook now. Yeah, that's it. I'm all over the place. I have TV shows that we're working on right now. My own TV show, finally.
Congrats.
That's awesome, man.
So we actually have some big meetings coming up with a lot of these big networks that are actually, we have up to seven networks fighting over it right now. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Congratulations.
That's a great that's a great market to be in.
Thank you. So the culinary school, catering is just I love catering. It's like my first love, because I think that's where, actually a quick story too, with catering, we had,
we can't do the story. It's time's up on the show because we're out of time. We're timed.
Show.
But can we get you on again?
Back, and we want the
great response, because we do want the story.
And we can convince her slowly to let me go to Battered Up, like just one show.
Battered Up.
So I'd love to get you on again, guys. If you want to hear this story about his catering, yeah, then I want you to come back and watch the Trendy.
All right.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. Guys, this was Behind the Scenes. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk 4 Media.